Hello, and welcome aboard to the video. Thank you very much for joining. Today we're just going to take a really quick look at some of the different features that are available to you within Final Fantasy XIV's character creation. So we're going to go ahead, press new character and press OK. First of all, I apologise about my pronunciation on some of these races, but I will try my very best. So first of all, we have the Here race. We have male and female. I'm just gonna go through and show you some bits and bobs. We have the Elezen, male and female. We have the Lalafell, male and female. We've got the Migote. We have the Rogadin. And we have the Ora. So we'll jump into the female Ora. It is worth mentioning that these races do have two clans as well. The two different clans do look slightly different between each race, as you can see. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are some starting attributes over here on the left hand side. To be completely honest with you, I would completely ignore those statistics. They make no difference whatsoever. I would recommend just focusing on making the character that you want to be or that you want to make. So we're going to jump straight in. I'll show you some of the different features. Okay, so first of all we have height in the top left corner up here. Obviously you can drag the bar from the bottom to top or vice versa. You will notice this number here does change where it says 152 centimeters. It is worth mentioning as well that the maximum and the minimum number that can be does actually change depending on what race you're creating at the time or what gender you're creating at the time. So I'm not going to spend too long going through absolutely every aspect of this character creation, but I'll show you the specific things, especially for this particular race that we're on. We have a tail, so we have a dragon tail at the back here, as this is the dragon race. You've got 4 different choices of tail shape. Just show you those 4. And then you have tail length. Obviously you can drag that as you desire. So as well as the dragon tail, we also have horns. So again, you've got 4 different choices of the way you want your horns to look. Also with the Aura you have a limbal ring. So you get to choose to have this on both or one eye. The choice is yours, and you can also choose to change the colour of the limbal ring as well. Also, just to show you, you have some various different features here that you can have on or off. You can choose to have all of these ticked if you so do wish, or you can have none of these ticked if you so do wish as well. You'll notice the little bits change as we tick the ticks there. So next up we're going to take a real quick look at some of the bits and bobs that you can do on Migote race. Again, you get 2 clans as per usual, Seekers of the Sun and Keepers of the Moon. You will always have 2 different clans per race. So keeping this video specific to the race itself as such, we have the tail shape. So I'm just going to show you the differences between these just by clicking through essentially. So we have 8 options available. very slight differences between the tails there. And you get the tail length as well. Just to show you some of the features, the facial features, obviously this race is the cat-like race with cat ears and cat-like eyes as well. So we have 4 options there on the facial options. So we have face 1, as you can see there. We have face 2, face 3, and face 4. That's really it specific to that race as such. Obviously when you get to your character creation, you'll have plenty of time to mess around with all the different bits and bobs that are available to you. And lastly, I'm just going to show you some of the various different things that you can do with the Here race. And we're going to go for Midlander. Again, we have 2 different classes, Midlander and Highlander. Again, you'll notice the difference here where it says approximately 182 centimeters. You'll notice because we're doing a different race now, the maximum and the minimum number that can be has changed. So just to show you a few features really quickly. Again, when you get around to your character creation, you'll have the time to mess around and do some of the stuff that you desire to do. So just going to show you some bits and bobs on the different voices.
Hey, hey, hey! Ha ha! Ha!
So, it is worth mentioning as well that down here in the bottom right corner, you've got various different things that you can chop and change depending on what you want to do. You've got pose, attire, and environment. With pose, you've got standing or unique. Unique will make your character do various different motions as such. Standing will, of course, just make the character stand. You've got attire. So you've got race or small clothes. Some of the various different features on the left there will be better with clothes on. And some of the various things will be better with clothes off, depending on what it is that you're changing at the time. You've also got environments as well, so you've got the ethereal background that it will always start on. You've got the Lenosian coastline. This place is beautiful. Just looking out in the distance there. The Black Shroud. Nice little stretch there of Thanalan. And lastly, a Gridanian residence. So that's about it really for most of the features that I wanted to show. Moving forward from that, you would press confirm. And confirm. You do have the option to save appearance data as well if you want to. So if you press yes and you really want to save that specific look, you can save it to a save slot if you so do choose, so you can load that data up really quickly in future, or you can press no. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go ahead and press no. That will bring us on to specify your character's date of birth. That's pretty straightforward really. If you click on a date, it basically does tell you at the bottom there, so essentially that would put your birthday at the 26th of the 3rd. And if you clicked a different one, say that for example, that would be the 13th of the 9th. Next up, it will ask you to select your character's patron deity, I'll be totally honest with you here, I wouldn't spend too much time on this one. I'll link in a wiki page for you which has got a little bit of information on it. It talks about some slight differences on elemental resistances. I'll be honest, I don't really think it makes much difference. It does touch on some lore, so anyone that is a lore buff there's various different deities and various different backgrounds. Again, I'll link the wiki page that's got the full information on all that stuff. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at some of the different jobs in Final Fantasy XIV, the Disciples of War and the Disciples of Magic. Please do note in the bottom left corner you've got a city name over here. That is a city that you will start in depending on what job you pick. It is worth mentioning as well that in Final Fantasy XIV you can change your job at any time. You will have to complete a certain quest to unlock that, but don't be worried about locking yourself into a certain job. If you pick Gladiator, for example, you will be able to play absolutely every single one of these jobs after completing the quest to allow you to switch jobs. So please don't worry about locking yourself into a specific job. So for this part of the video, I'm going to go ahead and click job, which will show you the specific gear for that class. So first of all we have the Gladiator, which eventually becomes a Paladin, which is a tank style job starting in Uldar. We have the Pugilist, which eventually becomes a monk. It's like a martial artist fist fighter starting in Uldar. This is a damage class or a DPS class. We have Marauder, which eventually becomes a warrior starting in Limsa. This is a tank style job. We have Lancer, which becomes Dragoon starting in Gridania. This is a damage or DPS style. We have Archer, which starts in Gridania. Archer becomes Bard, and this is a damage style job. Moving on to the Magic, and we have Conjurer. Conjurer becomes White Mage, starts in Gridania. Conjurer, White Mage is a healer. We have a Thaumaturge, I have no idea how to pronounce that, which becomes a Black Mage starting in Uldar. This is a damage or a DPS style job. And we have a Arcanist. Arcanist actually becomes two jobs. It becomes a Scholar, which is a healer style, or it becomes a Summoner, which is a damage style job. Again, like I say, when you make your choice for these, you can always change it later on into the game, so please don't be afraid of locking yourself into a specific job. Okay, so that about wraps it up, to be fair. The only thing left to do is to select a server that you want to go on to. It is worth mentioning as well, with Final Fantasy XIV there is a free trial. You can level up all jobs to level 35 on the trial. There is some restrictions, but I'll put the link in the description of this video so you can get your hands on that and give this kind of thing a go for yourself. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you do have any questions or anything, feel free to give me a shout. You can either comment on the video or you can tweet me at Azzavhar. Also, you'll find me broadcasting on Twitch TV. It's also Azzavhar. All my stuff is Azzavhar. But if you do have any questions or anything, please do give me a shout. Other than that, take care of yourselves and look after each other, and I'll see you next time.